If you're applying to Caapid Cycle in 2025 and you're preparing for your interview, whether for Boston, Buffalo, UCLA, UPenn, or any dentist school or residency, well, this is the right video for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Adriel William. I'm a foreign trained dentist just like you who applied to 12 schools in 2019 and got accepted to 4 of them in my first cycle, including Colorado, UCLA, USC, and NYU. And over the past years, I've been preparing for interviews, and I feel I am one of the best when it comes to interview preparation in the dentist school spectrum. And I can say this confidently because I have more than 1,000 of people who got accepted through my training, through the videos, or through one way or another that I guided them. So, as I said that, let me help you out. One of the key things I'm going to give you today that might help you ace your interview much better. Now, when it comes to your interviews, whether you're dealing with a person one-on-one, it can be an Zoom one or in person. When you walk in the room or you turn on the Zoom, people create an image about you right away. That's what I tell people, that 90% of the first impression they make about you is when they open up the screen or as you walk in. Your body language, your presentation, your perception, the way you speak, the kind of facial expressions you give, people judge you from there. So your appearance does make a difference. I know this sounds very silly to a lot of people, but I tell them there was a research that mentioned that good-looking people and extrovert get an advantage when it comes to interviews. And that's how it is, whether you like it or not, but that's the truth. Now, the next thing I'll tell you is that your presentation should be as good as you can make it. Well, you don't want to get a plastic surgery for an interview, but whatever you can do as a guy, at least I know if I shave my face better or have a better haircut, it does make me look more presentable. Now, for the ladies, it might be different. I'm not the best at it, but you can YouTube it or ask around, or maybe you already know a lot. But now, coming to number one thing was your presentation. The second thing I'll tell you is that when you go an interview, people think that it's going to be an exam. They're going to interrogate me. They're going to ask me for my personal statement and my resume, and I would have to answer them, and I need to answer them very well. Well, that's a childish way to look at it. That's a myth. I'm going to bust it, and I'm going to tell you what the actual answer is. Interviews are not an exam. Interviews are actually what happens. They look at your application, they look at your resume, they look at your SOP, they say, okay, this person looks good, they have a BDS, they have a good TOEFL, they have good experience, let's get them in and see if they can speak well, they can communicate good, and they will be a good team player and a good learner for the next 2 years. That's the main thing they are trying to observe when they bring you in. They are not trying to see if you're the most intelligent, most sharp, if you have the reflexes of a surgeon, or you have like you're extraordinary genius. No, they don't care about any of these things. They are just trying to see what kind of a human being you are and if we can deal with you for the next 2 to 3 years. So when I prepare people for interviews, and I do it through recorded sessions, you can buy that, or in one-on-one personal coaching, it's totally up to you. What I tell them is that you need to create 7, 8 different stories out of your personal life where you need to show that you're a lifelong learner. You need to show that you can manage failure. You need to show that you're humble and you're working hard step by step to become a good student, because they are not hiring you to be a dentist, they are hiring you to be a D3 D2 student. So what they are looking for is your approach to things, your trajectory. Let me give you an example. If I give my interview answer, I don't say, oh, select me as a student because I'm a competent person. I'll say, I would encourage you to select me as a candidate because I personally believe I'm a good team player. I have the ability to work hard. Coming from Lahore, Pakistan, I worked hard to get accepted to a good dental school, and after that pass a competitive exam to get into an oral surgery residency. And after that, I tried my best and was fortunate to earn a master's in health administration in the US and worked for 2 years in a non-profit where I got to learn about different refugees, socioeconomic issues, and the professionalism in US. And after that, I've been working with Mission of Mercy and scored 113 in my TOEFL, and I will continue to work hard if given the opportunity. The reason I gave you this answer is to show you that there's a step case, like a ladder step case kind of trajectory that you want to show. You want to show from where you're starting and where you're going. That's what they want to see. So whenever you're basing your answers or creating stories out of your life, that's one of the most important thing. Now, here's the key magical thing that I've never told anybody else on YouTube video. I tell it to people who come in for paid coaching, and today I'm telling you on this YouTube video, uh, is that there's a science behind interviews. And back when I used to give oral exams in my BDS, there was a rule that when an examiner asks you questions and you give an answer, wherever you stop your answer, the next question will come from there. When I tell an answer of this is what I've done, they will, like I mentioned about my master's in health administration, they might say, okay, what did you do in master's that will help you become a good dentist student? Or what was your work with a non-profit organization? Or tell us about your oral surgery residency. So what happens, what I teach people, interviews are based over psychology. And in psychology, when it comes to conversations, interviews are conversation. And in psychology, what you do is you prime people's brain. In a conversation, when you say tell me about yourself, you're giving ideas or cues in their brain, and the examiner or the faculty will start to ask you questions from within there. Somebody mentioned that I, in my childhood or in my youth, was involved in horseback riding, or I worked in a ranch. And then they started asking questions about that. Somebody in their back had a Christmas tree, and then they started asking questions on Christmas tree. So what I tell people, that in an interview, you can actually control your own interview by the kind of questions and by the kind of answers you give. So the key takeaway, key thing I'm going to tell you is, when you're preparing for interview, what you can do is you can always remember whatever I'm going to mention in one answer, or whatever I'm going to tell them, the next answers will come out of there. You're the one who's giving cue. So when you're preparing for your interview stories, prepare them in the way that you know where you're leading them to. That's the key thing that I teach people, is that create those 8-9 different stories in your mind, or write them down, and you should know where you're leading your interviewer. Because by the end of the day, the interview is on a person that nobody knows better than you do, because the interview is about you, and that makes you much more in control. So that's a very important thing I wanted to tell you guys. I hope it makes sense. I didn't make it too complex. I hope so. And if you're interested to get more coaching from me, you can buy my recorded sessions that are not available on YouTube. I price them in a way that they are not super expensive. But if you want in-person interview training, you can also reach out to me in my email address or WhatsApp me. Follow me on Instagram. I do free sessions for people as well. And I'm going to share another video right up here, which will talk, or maybe here, either one of the place, which going to talk about interview prep. And I hope this video helped you. Do like the video and mention something in the comment. If you hate my video, just write it. If you like it, if you, whatever you feel about it, or how can I improve it, whatever topic you want next, just mention it and I'll make a video for you. See you in the next video.